What's good? Let's dive into Impact Wrestling for August the 31st, 2023. Pretty okay show. This was the Fallout show from last Sunday's Emergence. So the show itself was okay. It could have been a little bit better, but it was okay. So we kicked the show off with a Knockouts Battle Royal. It's a number one contenders match to see who's going to challenge Trinity at Victory Road. And this pissed me off because this was a waste of time. We don't need battle royals. We don't need triple threats. We don't need fatal 4-ways, fatal 5-ways, fatal 6-ways, or whatever. We don't need that stuff. This isn't a video game. You need two singles, guys or girls, going at it, and the winner faces the individual with the championship. I don't understand why Shawn Michaels, Scott D'Amore, at times Tony Khan, do stuff like this. It makes zero sense. It's so damn stupid. This pissed me off. So we basically had Killer Kelly, Masha Slamovich, Giselle Shaw, Courtney Rush, Jessica, Savannah Evans and Jody Threat, Alisha Edwards, Kylan King, and Vanna Black. I don't know who that is. It came down to the final two, which were Jody Threat and Kylan King. So Alisha comes through the ether and she eliminates both Kylan King and Jody Threat. And I'm just like, what in the actual fuck is Impact doing? Are you kidding me? Why couldn't it have been Jody Threat versus Kylan King? The winner of that match faces Trinity at Victory Road. That's all you had to fucking do. Absolutely stupid on Impact's part. The match with Alisha Edwards should be no more than like 2 minutes for Trinity. I'm not going to hold you guys up. Like, the girl is tiny. She's like Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega tiny. Like, she's tiny. Just a waste of time. Just an absolute waste of time. I'm pissed at that decision. That was a dumb decision. Moving on, so we see a clip from Emergence of Steve Maclin returning and attacking Josh Alexander. So then after that, this cuts to a backstage promo. Josh Alexander was about to say something, and then he was interrupted. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley were about to say something. Josh Alexander interrupted the promo. Josh Alexander said the loss and Emergence was on him for being distracted and fighting Steve Maclin. Josh Alexander said he would get his emotions in check and would focus on getting the belt back. Alex Shelley accused Josh Alexander of calling him a transitional champion, and then Alexander walked off. And then the Rascals walked in and gloated about winning the tag team titles. Chris Sabin said they were embarrassing themselves and the belts. Chris Sabin challenged Zachary Wentz to a match. So, I'm fine with this. It does seem like they're going to turn Alex Shelley heel, but it's going to be a slow heel turn, which actually does make sense. Him wearing the black kind of makes sense. So I do see him turning heel. Again, I'm not too big on Josh Alexander anymore. I feel like he's not really all that. He's really more of a mid-carder. And really, if we're being honest, most people on Impact's roster are mid-carders. Most of them, like 90% of that roster is straight mid-card. And that's the problem with Impact. Impact needs fresh blood. They need fresh blood. They really do. Moving on. So Alisha Edwards and Eddie Edwards, they celebrated. They kissed each other backstage. Alisha, she gloated and told Frankie Kazarian and Tracy Brooks that they were the power couple of Impact. And then Alisha Edwards told Trinity she would be the new Impact Knockouts champion. And I'm just like, oh my God, this shit is stupid. Absolutely stupid. Again, Eddie Edwards, Frankie Kazarian, Rich Swann, Sami Callihan, Diener, Eric Young, Tommy Dreamer, we'll get to him later on in the show, Bully Ray, PCO, those guys need to be backstage producers or recruiters. Impact needs fresh talent. I'm serious. They need it like nobody's business. They need it bad. What are you guys doing, man? Scott D'Amore, what the hell are you doing, bruh? I don't get it. Next, Crazzy Steve versus Speedball Mike Bailey. So Crazzy Steve comes to the ring in a new creepy mask, which is really cool. I liked it. He had new music as well. And then, so Mike Bailey goes for a kick. Steve dodges it, and then he immediately rakes the eyes of Mike Bailey. And the referee calls for the DQ because Steve wouldn't stop at the count of five. Before the count of five. So, post-match, Crazzy Steve knocked down the referee. He continued his attack and went after Mike Bailey's eye with a fork, which was great. Black Taurus came down to break it up, but Crazzy Steve went after him and he tried to take out his eyes. Security ran in, but Steve attacked them and tried to take one of the security guys out. And then he finally left the off the rampway, which was cool. So I enjoyed that. That was a well done presentation for Crazzy Steve by Impact. I thought that was great. I really dug that. So it looks like they're going to have Crazzy Steve be kind of unhinged in a sense, where he's not focused on winning. He's just focusing on hurting anyone and everything, which is great. I love that. So this is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. This was done to perfection. I love it. Hopefully, this will lead to a feud involving Crazzy Steve and Black Taurus. I think that would be tremendous right there. Because I'm a fan of both guys. It's just that Crazzy Steve has been completely shitted on for like so long. And his best act was when he was with DK. But I think this new character that he's created can be something. Moving on. Boy. Fucking Brian Myers, Moose, and Eddie Edwards. They all can go as well. I just mentioned those guys. So, Steve Maclin. Oh, my bad. My bad. So, Brian Myers said their opponents didn't stand a chance. Moose talked about his differences with Eddie, but they could trust him. Eddie said he is on a roll after beating Frankie Kazarian in the back-to-school match and Alisha winning the Battle Royal. Eddie said he was different from Bully Ray, and then Bully Ray interrupted and walked out. Eddie then dipped out. Bully said they had a problem in PCO. Brian Myers said that Bully Ray had a problem with PCO, not them. Moose said you could add them to the list of people that Bully has burned bridges with. He and Myers walked out, and then Bully could hear PCO screaming for him in the background. So this is fine, I guess, again, but all these gentlemen do not need to be on a television screen. Their time is up. It doesn't make any sense at all. Moving on, so we got a promo video for Will Ospreay returning to Impact for Bound for Glory and the UK tour that they're doing. They're also going to be doing Turning Point, I believe, in the UK. So that should be pretty cool. But, again, who is Will Ospreay going to face in Impact that's worth a damn? There's nobody. That's a waste of money. See, that's what I'm talking about. Why would Impact bring Will Ospreay in when knowing that Will Ospreay is better than anybody on that damn roster? There's no one that can lace up his boots at all. And I'm not even a Will Ospreay fan like that. He's boring to me. He's like a white Ricochet. But damn, like, why are you going to waste so much money on trying to get him? And I mean, who is he going to literally feud with at Bound for Glory? Who? Again, Impact needs to think before they do these things. Moving on. Eric Young versus Khan. Two more guys that wasted television time. That they don't need to be on television anymore. They need to be backstage producers. So Eric Young defeats Khan. This was a long match. I just didn't really care about it. So who really cares? So this probably is the end of the Design versus Eric Young feud, I hope, which it should be. So, yeah. I forgot to mention that Bully Ray ran into PCO. Bully blocked PCO from coming through a door. Bully called PCO Carl and said he attacked him because he cares about him. Bully said he tried to kill the monster, but he wanted the man back. And I'm just like, I want both of you guys to be backstage producers, like, right now. Moving on. So, Lio Rush, he's backstage. He talked about Chris Sabin challenging for the X Division title. And Lio questioned why Chris Sabin was getting in the ring with Zachary Wentz tonight. He told Chris Sabin to tell him when he is ready to get in the ring with Lio. Lio Rush said Chris Sabin wouldn't see a different outcome against him. And then Kushida appeared with the giant X around his neck still and said Victory Road. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh my god. So it's going to be Kushida versus Lio Rush. That's fine. That's okay. Moving on. So, we get a promo video of Jordynne Grace training. So she's going to be returning at Victory Road. So that's fine there. And she's going to be facing Deonna Purrazzo. So Gia Miller interviewed Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo talked about her loss against Trinity at Emergence. Deonna Purrazzo said she's had setbacks before, but she still is the face of the Knockouts division. Not really. That's Trinity. She accused Jordynne Grace of trying to steal her spotlight by announcing her return after all the women's main event at Emergence, and then she challenged Jordynne Grace to a match at Victory Road. So that's fine there. So, this does make sense. I see Deonna Purrazzo turning heel, maybe. Because she's been face for a little bit, so she might revert back to being a heel. I'm fine with this. I mean, it makes sense. But I'm just shocked that WWE or AEW didn't want Jordynne Grace. Especially WWE. Because they are pushing, Rhea Ripley. They're still pushing Bianca Belair. And in due time, they'll push Raquel Rodriguez. And I think Jordynne Grace would fit perfect in that world. I do. I think, put her in NXT for about a good maybe 6 months to a year. And I think she could make WWE some money. But it was for naught. So she'll be back in Impact. Next, Chris Sabin versus Zachary Wentz. So, Chris Sabin gets the win because Alex Shelley and Terry Miguel got into a brawl. And let's allow for Chris Sabin to hit the cradle shot for the 1, 2, 3. I'm just like, this sucks. I hate my champions losing. Let's not do that, Impact. Let's not do that. And then post-match, Trey Miguel attacked Chris Sabin after the match, and then the Rascals retreated up the ramp. So, Chris Bay and Ace Austin, they're backstage. So, Ace Austin congratulated the Rascals on doing what it took to win the belts, but he said it would be sweet to beat them. So, Chris Bay said they are the best team in the world. And then he accused the Rascals of paying off the Good Hands. The Good Hands approached and they argued. And then ABC challenged them to a match, but the Good Hands said not yet. I'm just like, man, fuck the Good Hands. They suck. Subculture. So they approached Santino Marella backstage and asked for a rematch for the tag titles. He said that he already made a match for the Motor City Machine Guns to face the Rascals at Victory Road. And I'm like, come on, really? This is some WWE type shit. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on, man. For real. Come on, Santino. So then Sami Callihan and Rich Swann, they interrupted and talked about being screwed out of a title shot by the Rascals. Santino said Subculture would face Sami and Rich Swann. And then Joe Hendry and Yuya Uemura approached. And then Joe Hendry asked for a tag team title shot. And then Santino said they would get there one day. And then both Yuya and Joe Hendry walked off. And then Santino started saying, Joya. I'm just like, what the hell? Again, get rid of Sami Callihan and Rich Swann. They don't need to be there. Next, we had a really good promo segment with Tommy Dreamer and Kenny King. So this was a long promo. I'm not really going to go over what was said. Tommy Dreamer said that he ran out to save Swinger because he's always had his friend's back. He says he's been beaten down a lot, but he always comes back. Basically, the gist of the promo was that Tommy Dreamer wants the digital media championship, but he's also going to put his career on the line. But this was a very, long promo. And then he talked about, how he got into the business and how he misses Terry Funk. Then he gave praise to, Sting and Chris Jericho and PCO. So, this was a really good promo. Also, he talked about being diagnosed with skin cancer. I'm like, damn. So, wow. It was a good promo segment, but it was very, very long, though. I just don't want to go over the entire promo. But that was just basically just the gist of it, if we're being honest. That was the meat and potatoes of it. Because it was a long promo. A long one. But Tommy Dreamer's another guy that doesn't need to be on Impact anymore. There's so many of those guys that just need to be recruiters, backstage producers. And I'm a fan of Kenny King. He's awesome. I love Kenny King. I think Kenny King is like in his early 30s, like 31, 32. Moving on. So Gail Kim, she was backstage. She said that if Awesome Kong is coming back, so is she. So she challenged all former and current knockouts to be with her or against her. And then Tom Hannafin and Matthew Rehwald appeared on camera, and they talked about the upcoming 10-woman tag match at Impact 1000. I'm like, oh my God, no. Oof. Moving on. So, Steve Macklin, he's backstage. He got a promo. He said that torture is time. He said time makes him dangerous because it makes him stronger and lets him take a look at the battlefield. He talked about facing Josh Alexander at Victory Road. And then the main event, which was a 6-man tag, Frankie Kazarian, Jake Something and Sonata versus Moose, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards. I did not watch this match. I like Sonata, and I like Jake Something. Everyone else, have them be backstage producers. For real, I'm tired of this shit. So, Jake Something gets the win via Into the Void, and then that was it. So, the show itself was okay. I dug the Kenny King and Tommy Dreamer promo. And I dug the character change of Crazzy Steve. I thought that was beautifully done. That was great there. Other than that, the show itself was okay. But Impact just needs to have fresh blood. It's actually time for them to have fresh blood. You know, I'm tired of Bully Ray. I'm tired of Tommy Dreamer. I get it. I'm talking about from a wrestling perspective. Bully Ray, Eddie Edwards, Tommy Dreamer, PCO, Frankie Kazarian, Moose, fucking Brian Myers. The list goes on and on. Get those guys off your television, Impact, and start looking for new talent. Whether that be from AEW, WWE, but look to those guys to kind of solve your problems. You know, get guys in the mid-card from WWE whenever they start to do releases. And whenever AEW quietly releases people, start to grab those guys up. You know? But Impact was okay, but what did you guys think? Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos.